Next, a short activity for you. Ji. Your introduction. You got 1 minute, then you will be asked to introduce yourself. Imagine you are facing an interview, I'm asking you to introduce yourself.
My name is Aksana, and I have done matric from government girls in the ISSB Hyderabad, and after that I have done active from government girls.
Okay, can I please stop you there? Because you already attended this session.
Okay, I am Nahlatrali. I am from Ahmedabad. I have done my graduation in computer system engineering from UT Mishawal, and my major was in data science. And in my final year project, I worked on analyzing customer reviews from online platforms using natural language processing. And I am good at software like Power BI, MATLAB, and Adobe Illustrator. And my hobbies are traveling and design.
My name is Nainatrali. Currently, I am in 7th semester of BBA doing my specialization in marketing. During my studies, I have worked voluntarily with different organizations including SPO, JZT, District Youth Office, ITA, and many more.
Okay.
My name is Nasra Tanuli. I have done my FSC from the BC of Schools and Colleges, and during that time I have participated in different extra co-curricular activities, and throughout my that journey I was the active member in student council, like I was the president of student councils, and I have this some of my, if you ask, like some of my strengths are that I can have this good communication skills. And the second thing I would like to say that some of my weaknesses are pressure, that I can trust people so easily, and I just don't.
You also attended this session previously.
That's why it's
I am Abel Sultan from Ahmedabad. I have done FSC from Tamil Public School and College, Ahmedabad. Currently, I am doing bachelor's in political science from University of Manipur. And
Now my question is that you are an engineer, mashallah. You completed your engineering. You are about to complete that. You are there in some university. Don't you think that, is it enough whatever you said? 14 years, 16 years studies. 14 years studies. Are you all getting my point? This is not enough. That except few of you, that generally short introduction, whatever I have faced. See, my name is this, I have done this, I have done the job for 2 years there, for 3 years there, just this much. Clear? This is not an introduction. Clear? That introduction is basically the interviewer is throwing the ball into your court. Clear? Your intro can develop the base for the rest of the interview. Clear? That whatever you had been dealing with during your studies and later on your professional life, if you make a list of that, it needs, if not hours, much time. Clear? And it makes the mind of your interviewer that you have already mentioned that they are throwing the ball into your court. Clear? And they are relaxed. Now they are waiting for you to say something about yourself to tell. And normally we people go for a short introduction. My name is this, my qualification is this, I have done this. Not like this. See, how can you do it? See? Who you are, clear, what you can do, and can do is there with a huge list. In the coming slides, we'll discuss in detail. It takes a start from your schooling, your college life, your university life. You can make everything a tool, a strong tool of it. Even if it is a presentation, even if it is participation in morning assembly, or sports or something else. Your personal skills, your social skills, your academic skills. And you always have the evidence. For example, when you are saying that I'm a good speaker, you can support your argument with an evidence that during my school time I used to participate in school functions and speeches, morning assemblies, and everybody, almost everybody does so. Sometime, somewhere. Clear? Minimum is that class participation, group discussions, group activities, group tasks. Clear? You can make a list of that. Clear? In the coming slides, we'll go for it. You can make a list of that. Clear? And that list must be there on your fingertips. When they are asking you regarding you all have noticed that. What was your intro? Are you getting my point? That your intro was there of 4 or 5 lines. Agreed? Clear? At the end of the session, clear, you will go for the intro once again. And then you will come to know that what important things you missed. Clear? You already have all those things, clear, but you missed to mention. A short activity once again here for you, Ji. That you will make 2 columns. One is with your strengths and the other one is with your weaknesses, Ji. You got 2 minutes for it, Ji. Ji beta, your strengths, your weaknesses.
Weaknesses that I'm too emotional and I trust too easily. Strength that I'm strong, or communication skills.
Why did you take a start with weaknesses first?
Because strength can overcome those.
If you please repeat again.
Okay, my strengths are that I'm strong and my communication skills are good. And weaknesses that I'm emotional and that I trust too easily.
Okay.
Strengths में I'm good at programming and I'm a hard worker, और weaknesses में I procrastinate a lot.
I what?
Procrastinate.
I'm procrastinate. This is my weakness.
Strength way I work honestly,
You are illusioned.
and weaknesses I am too sensitive, thinking too much about any problem, very confused, and fear of loss before starting every time.
Confused people are wise.
So my weakness is I'm not very good at communication with anyone, and my strength is I'm hardworking.
Okay. Chuchu.
My strength is I'm confident, and my weakness is I take time to understand things and I don't have control on my tongue.
Okay. Okay, now if I ask you that you're mashallah complete engineer, you're almost complete graduate, you're mashallah graduate, you're about to complete your degree, don't you think that it's too short? That you are just talking about 1-2 things regarding your strengths and more things regarding your weaknesses. You are focusing more on your weaknesses than your strengths. And even when you are talking about strengths now, it seems that you are not sure about that. Your tone is telling a lot that I think or I might, I think I am good at this. Not at all. Clear? How to make a list of that? Look at these categories. That how to. Number 1, knowledge based skills. You will make a list of knowledge based skills, and then for example, it can be subject based, it can be regarding curricular activities, co-curricular activities, and now in modern world there is nothing extracurricular, everything is co-curricular. Regarding subject wise, you can mention, for example, I'm good at mathematics, suppose, and be ready for it. The next question of the interviewer can be there from mathematics. So always mention your strong area. Some people say that I have an hobby of reading books, and if I ask you that what was the last book you read, by whom, or who suggested you this book, or why are you reading this book? Clear? I don't have the answers. So don't go for such type of stupidities. That number one, in academic subject. Number two, co-curricular or curricular. For example, speaking skill, writing skill, listening skill. You had been dealing with it or not? You had been dealing with English compulsory for 14 years or not? Or was it English? Are you all getting a point? Everybody had been dealing with that. So why are you not adding it into your stance? Clear? That listening, speaking, reading, writing. For example, you can support your argument with an evidence from your academic career. That regarding listening, I used to take down the notes of the lectures. I was good at taking notes. I was considered a good listener. My class fellows used to consult my notes, for example. Regarding speaking, I used to participate in class. Minimum is that participation. Then I used to participate in morning assembly. I used to participate in debates, declamations. I used to participate in functions. Then reading. You can support it with your academic career. Then writing, once again from academic career. If you ever participated in some essay writing competition or story writing competition or whatever you call it. Then events around you during your academic career, being a student. For example, the Independence Day celebrations, organization of that, or event management of that, or even photography of that, or even backstage preparation. Whatever, even some minute detail you can add into that as your strength. Am I clear, ji? Next, transferable skills. These are also called social skills, sociability, adjustability, and make it very clear that now every organization, every institution, every interviewer, above all, demands this skill. That I'm social or I'm easily adjustable. I can adjust myself into different situations with different people according to their culture, their language, their religious, political, economic, social background. I never faced problem in working with any sort of people. Are you getting my point, Chi? Then along with that, team worker. I'm a good team worker. I love to work in a team. I'm a good planner. I'm a good strategizer. And you can give the evidence from your academic career. It is always available there. For example, taking a start from schooling, any sort of a small project. If you did that with some of your classmates, then moving ahead, some presentation, some assignment, that is teamwork. Class presentations, clear? Planning of some activity, specifically those who are now currently there in universities or got graduated. They must have experience. You can mention it there. Third one is the personal traits, which are usually found there on Facebook profile. I'm sincere, kind, whatever usually we don't. We are not. Okay? In that, suppose if somebody is saying that I'm very kind, being a manager, do you need to be kind all the time? Can you make everybody happy? Okay? Humanity is above all, but sometimes you have to be kind without being soft. Are you getting my point, Chi? So you'll make a list of personal traits. Then the weaknesses, whatever you mentioned. In our next session, inshallah, regarding personality grooming, we will discuss that, as I told her, that these are illusions. Suppose somebody is saying that I'm not, as she mentioned, that I'm not confident. Which if I ask you that, can you please define confidence to me? What is confidence?
Speak actively or speak like with confidence.
Okay, let me make it easier for you. That confidence itself is nothing. Simply it's a demand of perfection. The moment I start demanding perfection from myself now, that suppose if you are asking me to come here and say a few words in front of you, when I'm actually regarding my movement, regarding my dressing, regarding my voice, regarding my content, when I start demanding perfection now, it kills confidence. When I stop trying to be perfect, it is called what? Confidence. Are you getting my point?
Too much consciousness.
Clear? When I'm getting too much conscious about that, clear? Or it is also said that too much care kills. Clear? You are always worried that suppose you are going to say something and that would be incorrect. Then what? Will they find you? Will they imprison you? Maximum you will become a laughing stock. No? Then what? When people are laughing at you, start laughing with them. That is the minimum exposure that you took a start. I may repeat it, that is very important, that confidence itself is nothing. Clear? The real problem is what? Demand of perfection. The moment I start demanding perfection, I'll be there with certain loss of confidence. Whenever I'm thinking that whatever I am, whatever I have, clear, I'm going to present it. Clear? I always give the simple example of my teachers, my great teacher. Clear? He used to say that he got a shop, he is selling something out of it. Whoever likes it will buy it. Whoever doesn't like will not buy it. Are you getting my point? That was an extreme level of his confidence, my Shaykh. That he used to say that, I'm selling something. Do buy if you like it. Don't buy if you don't like it. That if you ask me now, that was the maximum level of confidence I have observed in my life, clear, in form of my teacher. So which from now on, stop thinking about it. That is just your illusion, that you can't. Normally, if I ask you that at home, do you speak or not? With your friends, you speak or not? I'm not talking about the frequency of speech. No? Do you speak yes or no? You don't speak. You use sign language. Mean to say that you speak, na? You can speak, na? But that is called speech, na? Are you getting my point? That you horrified me that you might go for what those sign language. It means that you can. Clear? That needs a certain practice, or that needs this clarity that it seems to you that we will discuss in personality. Wait for that session, personality grooming. That will be very interesting, inshallah. Clear? Because of my teachers, whatever I learned from my Shaykh. That is basically what you call it, that illusion. Clear? That most of the life we remain illusioned, or we define our own types. We bring fixity in personality that we are this. Clear? In the end, it is proven that we were not so. We were not so, we were illusioned. We were mistaken. Am I clear? For example, few examples are there regarding your weaknesses. Never go for such type of weaknesses. Some people say that I get angry over small things. Your interviewer will simply ask you that if you get angry, you can please leave. You are horrifying me. Clear? So you can turn it into positive type. For example, I'm too much critical, as she mentioned that I trust too much. Clear? Trust apparently is a weakness, but actually it is considered the biggest strength of brave people. Clear? Cowards can't trust. Always strong people can trust. Daring people. Clear? They trust others. Are you getting my point? I trust too much. Clear? For example, that I'm not familiar with latest equipment, whatever you mention, whatever you have now, strange type of software, strange type of technology or technological terms every day. You can mention such type of weaknesses. Though this apparently are weaknesses, but indirectly these are not weaknesses. On one hand, you are telling about weakness, on the other hand, you are not at all telling about any of your weakness. And generally, these questions are asked in interviews that tell us something about your strengths and weaknesses, or even when they are asking you about introduce yourself. Now you can go for the amalgam of all these things in your introduction. Now regarding professionals, as she is there, that regarding your professionalism, I have seen on CVs that working experience, work for 3 years there, work for 2 years there. This is not complete. You can add more into it, that during my career, I performed, for example, I performed the duty of a teacher. I taught this subject. While teaching that, I had been dealing with this, and this. For example, a language teacher, I had been working upon the presentation skills of my children in this way, written expression of my children in this way, oral expression of my children in this way. Go for the details of that, because everybody does so. Whatever you do, why are you not mentioning it into it? I may repeat it, that for students, as I told you that your intro, including your strengths and your weaknesses, based upon what? Your knowledge-based skills, transferable skills and personal skills. Got my point? And now talking about professionals, that they can go for whatever profession experience they have, the details of that. No? In that, for example, they attended some seminar, some workshop, go for the details of that. They just mentioned there that we attended this workshop. This is not enough. In that workshop, we attended these, we learnt these things. We discussed these things. I learned these things from that. During my career, I had been working with this, and while my work, I had been performing this task. You must have a well-prepared list of that. Whatever even if you stood somewhere, sometime to perform some duty, that is your task now. That is your management there now. So do mention that. And in that specifically, very important, specifically for those who are planning to go for ISSB or aptitude tests, always avoid vague, unclear, uncertain statements. Like maybe, I think so, in my view. Subjectivity, try to get rid of this subjectivity. You must be clear, you must be sure. Specifically regarding yourself, when they are asking you to introduce yourself, and while talking about yourself, you are saying that I think, it might be, it means that you are not clear about yourself. How would you go for the clarity of your job? May I repeat my question? That if a person is not clear about himself or herself, can he or she be clear about the task? Can he or she be clear about the job? Clear? At first, own clarity is required. And own clarity is your statements, it may be, it might be, I think so. Clear? That, did you go for certain feedback regarding yourself? Who told you that? Suppose many of you mentioned, some of you mentioned a few weaknesses. Who told you about those weaknesses? Or even if somebody told you about that weakness, is he or she the expert of that? Is he or she a psychologist? Is he or she is some scholar? If some authentic person, if some authority is telling you, clear, about your strength or about your weakness, then it can be admissible. It can be acceptable. Otherwise, clear, that leads to uncertainty, and that must be avoided. So never use such words while talking about specifically yourself.